happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad it's gone.
But let's say you have a birthday and a new album coming out
Yes,
at the same
yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that on purpose?
No, not at all.
No. But you were totally involved in the process of making this album.
Yes.
What was the most fun part of making this?
The process of going through it. Don Reedman, who is the executive producer and producer too, as well, approached me on this album 2 years ago, and came up with this idea. He said he's had for a while, and it was about Elvis's music and being done with the London Royal Philharmonic Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, say no more, say no more. This is right down Elvis's line. He loved the orchestra. He loved to hear big orchestras behind a voice, and the bigger the better. So I said, Don, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Well, so I went to Sony and I said, got to do this album.
Yeah.
And they have been so supportive. It's fresh. It's big, like Elvis would want it to be. It's not changing his anything. I mean, it's still his arrangements, but it's just bigger. His voice is, it's, I can't even say, it's so pure, flawless.
Mm-hmm.
We use the masters, so it made it very easy for us to, well, easy for me, I didn't have to do it, but the producers, they say it was.
Of course. But I can imagine that Elvis never worked with an orchestra or a big orchestra. What's the difference now with this album?
Well, he did work with some orchestra, a little bit, on songs, but not as big as the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. That's like 60 or more, people. But when he was in Las Vegas, he used an orchestra, and that's when he had fun. That's when he just let them go, and he would just make it fuller and bigger, and the more dramatic the song was, with that big, powerful ending, was what we were going for on some of these songs. Some of them are a little more and not as big because the song didn't call for it, but they were embellished with more pieces.
Yeah. Talking about the album, I listened to it, and I think that it's more of a downsized album in the choice of songs. I mean, it's more like ballads. A lot of ballads are on it. Was that the intention to make it like an album more relaxed?
No, it wasn't intentional. It was just honoring a lot of the songs that really haven't been hits, that were good songs. Probably people would expect just put the hits out there, but there is so many. He did over 700 songs. 700, so there's a lot to choose from, and there'll probably be some favorites of some people and not for others, but you can't please everyone. This was just to give a taste of what we could do. I would love to do more of these albums, and with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, and really cut loose in some of the songs that deserve even going bigger. I think that the choice of songs are diverse. You've got, you've got a couple of songs that are, how could I say, that were rock songs, maybe, but that wasn't the point here. The point is to show who Elvis was as an artist. That's what it was. It's not about using rock and roll. He was more than rock and roll. We have How Great Thou Art in there. My God, one of his favorite songs that just was, he loved the bigness of that song.
Yeah.
And we even made it bigger because that's what he did on stage in Vegas. We have The Grass Don't Pay No Mind, a Neil Diamond song that he did, and it was a more, as you said, sedate song, but it was a beautiful song. We have American Trilogy, how he felt about his country, how he felt about his maker, and how he felt about living in the South and being Southern.
Yeah.
So it's diverse and chosen for reasons.
Yeah. So you can do it. You can be in the mind of Elvis. Would you think that he would choose these songs to be on the album?
Yeah, I think. Well, like I said, he has so many songs, but there were songs that we could work with, that we felt that we could offer and make it fresh. Make it fresh.
I cannot imagine this, but imagine there's someone out there who doesn't know Elvis or about his music. why is If I Can Dream a good album to get to know Elvis?
A good album to get to know Elvis, or a good song?
A good song, yeah. But the album in total, with all these songs on it, why is it a good way to get to know Elvis?
Because it was a great number to pull a full orchestra to. It was big. It was what he did. It was what he would want, to have it bigger, to have it embellished with as much strings and as much horns as possible. Because when he sang, he built up, especially songs that you could do it with. He would start out, and then all of a sudden it would get bigger, more instruments would come in, and more instruments. He liked a big ending, and he liked to be dramatic, and that he could do on stage.
If you had to pick one song of the album, which you would like to hear every day on the radio, which song would that be?
Oh, I think it would be American Trilogy.
And why?
I brought it to him.
Tell me about that. How did you do that?
I did, because I know him so well, and I learned from him his kind of music, what he loved. And I was driving down Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, and I heard it on the radio. And I had to turn my car around and go get the song and make a U-turn and bring it to him. And I said, I have something that you may want to record. No one ever told him what to record. He always picked out his songs. But this was like written for him. Mickey Newberry was the artist on this. So he played it and recorded it right away, and absolutely loved it. I mean, like I said, it was how he felt, and it was so soulful.
I wasn't at the press conference yesterday, but you told a story about Bridge Over Troubled Water as well.
Yes. You
brought that to him as well, or he brought that to you?
No, Bridge Over Troubled Water dedicated it to me the evening that I lost the horse that he gave me. It was a quarter horse he presented me and gave me for Christmas, and I loved him. And his father had told me about it before Elvis went on stage, and I broke down because it was unexpected. So when his father told me, he was a little upset with his dad because I didn't know the horse was sick and he died unexpectedly. So he dedicated that night the song to me, that he would be with me.
Yeah. And you convinced him to record it as well?
No, he had already recorded that song.
Yeah.
But he just basically, it meant a lot to me because he was letting me know that he would hold my hand and that he would be there because I lost something that I love very much.
Yeah, that was dear to you. Maybe about the guest appearances on the album. You have Il Volo, you have Michael Buble, you have Dwayne Eddy. Again, if you would be in the mind of Elvis, would he be honored that these people would love to work with him?
Yes, there was a reason. Il Volo is an up-and-coming, as we know, operatic voices of young boys. They were, when I met them and saw them, they were 18, 19, and 20, somewhere along that way. And good-looking boys, and I went, wow, this would be great. They're young, they're getting very popular. In fact, they just won a very big award in Italy. #1, I think, had #3, and what was the name of the...
the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yes,
yeah, they
won
were
#3. Yeah. Wow, I mean, my instincts were right because I discovered them like 3 years ago, and we've got to have them if we do this somehow in the album, and just singing, harmonizing, with Elvis, because it's youth, and it's a way of showing, in the album that we're open, and he would be very open. My God, he'd go crazy if he saw these boys. He just loved talent, and to be that young and to be doing classical music. He would have been blown away.
Yeah, because Elvis was totally into classical music as well.
He was in classical music. He was in his cabinet. He had Brahms, he had Beethoven, and he had Mozart. And but he was such a he loved and again an orchestra,
Yeah.
And he would play it, and he would act out like an orchestra. He would have the stick, the maestro, he would be everything. And when the songs and the music came up, he'd take his hands up and he'd, point out. I mean, he felt every little thing, and that's what I think this album is. You can't see the visual, but that's what I see and feel when my head is down. I can see exactly what he would do with every single note.
Yeah, if I hear you talk about him, your lives were all about music all the time, I guess.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
it's pretty much, yeah.
Okay. What about Michael Bublé?
What about him?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Why?
Oh my God. I saw Michael sing Fever at a concert.
Yeah.
And Elvis sang Fever when I first met him, the whole time that he would sing it every night just about. And Peggy Lee was the first one that he had heard sing it, so he wanted to do that song. When I heard Michael, I went, oh my God, this would be a great duet. And I went to Don, and we talked about it, and I said, so I'm going to see Bruce, Michael's manager. We're having dinner. What do you think? And he said about Michael, and he says, are you kidding? We could do that. And I go, he goes, you go, girl. And I'm going there. So I mentioned it to Bruce, and Bruce says, let me check it out with Michael. And Michael was on board right away. And he was so good. I mean, is so good. He just, you could tell how much he worked on it. He's such a perfectionist, and same as Elvis. And anyway, I thought it came out brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah. Is this album a way of reaching new people?
I hope so. I hope so. I think it could be a beginning to, you know, do other albums as well. I hope it's received well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you know, and I hope they're as enthusiastic as I am about it. And I guess because I knew Elvis so well that I know he'd be very pleased with it.
Yeah. So it's the first of others to come.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that.
Yeah.
And again, more diverse, you know. And yes, but we'll have a couple with, you know, we'll do more uptune songs as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna finish, but I had to tell. I saw my father yesterday,
Yeah.
and he told me, say to Priscilla, because he knew I was going to meet you,
Yeah.
say that I was a big fan of Elvis's music.
Oh.
But when I hear you talk about him and his music, I totally can imagine why now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot for this interview.
Thank you.
And lots of success with the album.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure.